Next up at UFC San Antonio, we have CJ Vergara taking on Daniel Da Silva. You may know him as Daniel Lacerda. Bro is listed on every single website with a completely different last name. So it's one of those two. CJ Vergara is 10-4 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that submission loss to Tatsuro Taira. Daniel Da Silva is 11-4 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight losing streak. Daniel Da Silva, kill or be killed. Never seen a scorecard. He's either getting finished or finishing. He's never, ever seen a scorecard. CJ Vergara with those very nice lips. Jacob's admiring them now. He's a powerful striker, high-pressure guy, comes forward, clean boxing, solid knees. He likes to fight inside that pocket, use that clinch work. And he's just a high-pace, stay-in-your-face kind of guy. Daniel Lacerda, trying to find his footing in the UFC, but he's got decent control and pressure. If he ends up on top, he'll come forward, feast or famine, trying to get that finish, throwing wild, has some power, has submission abilities as well. I think CJ Vergara is going to get this done. CJ Vergara is one of my most confident picks on this entire card because he's a guy you know what you're going to get. He's going to go out there, come forward, get in your face, stay busy, and try to finish that fight. But he is tough. He's not a quitter. And I'm not saying Daniel Da Silva is a quitter, but he's the type of guy that he goes out there, and if he doesn't get that finish immediately and you start to pressure him hard, he has a little bit of trouble with pressure. He has trouble with the pace, trouble with people in his face. And that's exactly how CJ fights. So CJ is one of my most confident picks on this entire card. But the reason I don't have a bunch of money on him in a money line bet is because he hasn't been like that. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He hasn't really found that footing yet where, okay, I'm positive that this guy is who he is. Right? He lost to Tatsuro Taira, and Tatsuro's a beast. Everybody else, he came out, but he's had a couple of questionable losses. So I do think he wins. But I fully recognize Daniel Da Silva is super dangerous. The only bet that makes sense here is does not go to a decision. That's the only bet. It's a juice line, but parlay that with some other stuff. CJ Vergara is the very confident pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
I just cannot help. Well, first let's talk about CJ Vergara because I think you nailed kind of his breakdown and that the odds are probably a little bit wide in this fight. If I was setting them, it'd probably be like a -150, -175, somewhere around there because, yes, CJ should win this fight, but he's going to have to win this fight basically with toughness early, and that's a very dangerous and tall task against a guy that is very, very dangerous and wild early. I mean, there is going to be a moment where CJ is going to have to survive either on the ground with an armbar attempt, even if Daniel gets dropped, or with a wild strike. He does all the wild stuff. There's going to be a moment where CJ is going to have to survive, and he should survive. But when you watch CJ, or when I watch CJ, that's what jumps out is his toughness. I mean, he's very, very tough. There's nothing else that I'm like, oh, wow, he does. And this is, I'm going to keep saying this the whole night. There's so many big favorites where it's like, what does this guy do great? He's tough. That's great, and it should work, and that's a great opponent to be tough against Daniel Da Silva because Angelo mentioned, and he nailed it, there's the first flurry, there's 2 minutes, there's 3 minutes, and then he will start to fade. So CJ's toughness should win him the fight, but I can't help but feel like that poor dude Daniel is just due for a win. Like it just feels like in front of the live crowd, if he wins, you know it's going to be in spectacular fashion. He got the knockdown against Victor in his last fight, and then just kind of like got too aggressive in the grappling on that. It almost just feels like he's due. That's a stupid breakdown. It makes no sense. CJ's a play because you should get it done, but there's just something about Daniel. It's like it feels like this might be his moment.
Yeah, listen, I hear you, and I love your breakdowns, but sometimes I avoid listening to you because, honestly, you're a bit of a gobbler. And as of late, I've been watching you, and it's been very regretful. Very regretful. You're a gobbler who I regret watching. And my name is Vicky Namgill. Vicky thinks you're a gobbler, and she regrets watching you. Okay?
As of late, been watching him, been grateful. What? I bet you've had some other regrets too, Vicky. I bet you've got a closet full of regrets.
What a gobbler thing to say, right, Vic? Vic, is that not a gobbler thing to say?
I bet you got a few regrets on your own there.
Don't be such a gobbler, dude. Honestly, like that's the perfect And when I look at your face, gobbler, exactly.
Have you ever drove by some wild turkeys and honked your horn?
I've never honked my horn. No.
Because then they all when you honk your horn at them.
No,
I'm country, man. I'll tell you what, man. I'll teach you some things.
Jesus Christ.
I'll teach you some things, man. You drive around, you see some wild turkeys, you honk that horn.
Oh, you're this big, crazy outdoorsman. When we both lived in Florida and we were at the tiki bar getting drinks, you got a couple of mosquito bites. You walked around like a leopard, like you had AIDS lesions all over your legs.
They're called no-see-ums, and they're super dangerous. And in Florida, by the way,
super dangerous.
I got bit by a legit black widow, and I fucking survived. I almost lost my foot.
Mm-hmm. What a man. What a man.
But I survived. I literally got bit by a black widow, guys. I'm a survivor in more ways than one. And watch this. Imagine if I had a canister and it just out of nowhere.
I'm sure other things have made its way onto that camera, but didn't come from your wrist.
You're right. I got some power behind that thing.
Are you going to spend $6,900?
$6,900, you said.
$6,900 in DraftKings?
It's if you have multiple lineup, yeah, he needs to be in a multiple. He's just so dangerous. He should be, but
I agree. He's in your tournament plays, a couple of your lineups, and we have a DraftKings optimizer.
We do. How do you get that?
All you need to do is go to WeOwnPicks.com, become a premium member. The DraftKings optimizer will be preloaded with ownership projections, scoring projections.
What?
And all you need to do is click a few buttons.
What?
And it will build up to 150 lineups for you.
What? They do that on the Pat McAfee show. I'm not stealing it. Somebody's going to come and be like, oh, you just steal it. Of course they do it on the Pat McAfee show, and it's fucking hilarious when they do it.
Anyway, the DraftKings optimizer, genuinely, build yourself some lineups. Build some with CJ Vergara for sure. Build some with Daniel De Silva for sure, because one of these dudes is absolutely winning by finish and going to score well over 100 points. Anything to add here? You have any bets on this fight?
No, but CJ, he's a beautiful man. Both these gentlemen are beautiful, but CJ's just giving a little bit more effort to the camera.
It's the lips.
Although, if you look at Daniel's eyes for more than 3 seconds, I think you're really going to start feeling something.